Hello everyone, I'm Janet Adeyemi and I'll be presenting on clinical psychologists. So I'll be starting with what a clinical psychology is and who is a clinical psychologist. So clinical psychology is the psychology specialty that provides continuing and comprehensive mental and behavioral health care for individuals and families, consultation to agencies and communities, training, education and supervision, and research-based practice. So who is a clinical psychologist? A clinical psychologist are licensed professionals who are qualified to provide direct services to patients. So what does a clinical psychologist do? A clinical psychologist identifies psychological, emotional, or behavioral issues. They diagnose psychological, emotional, behavioral disorders. They develop and implement treatment plans and therapeutic purposes. A clinical psychologist also helps clients define goals and plan actions to achieve personal, social, educational, and vocational development and adjustment. A clinical psychologist also monitors client progress through regular meetings. They teach classes, they conduct research, and publish those research findings. So where does a clinical psychologist work? Clinical psychologists work Clinical psychologists can work at healthcare facilities such as hospitals, clinics, private and government organizations, universities, and schools. Annual average salary of a clinical psychologist. So the primary employers of a clinical psychologist are the elementary schools, hospitals, and private practices. And the annual average pay at those places ranges from 74 to 84,000. So the education requirement to become a clinical psychologist. A 4-year undergraduate degree is the first step. A master's degree in psychology to enter the field of clinical psychology. This may take up to 1 to 2 years to obtain. Then many clinical psychologists earn a doctoral degree as well, which can be a PhD in psychology or a Doctor of Psychology degree. So this may require up to 5 to 6 years investment. And the licensing and certification guidelines, they vary by state, so you have to make sure to check the state in which you are applying into. So this is not in the slide, but I would just like to chip this in. These are the influential clinical psychologists. One, we have Sigmund Freud, we have Albert Ellis, and we have Leitner Whitmer. He was the first psychologist to use and coin the term clinical psychology. So these are my references. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you very much.